Hello, scholars, everyone out there. This is Walter Bowne. I will be helping you understand the basics of doing desktop publishing through Adobe InDesign. Working with this for well over 16, 17 years, the advisor of the Voyager. We win lots of awards in New Jersey for layout, for newspaper, and the staff needs training on how to do basic design, and then I'll move on to a little bit more complex designs with maybe the next video. But for all intents and purposes, staff, here is our library of pages. So when you go to create a new page, you don't have to go from the basic, you just open up InDesign new. No, you just take, like, you're doing page 2, so let's open page 2. Now this is in tabloid format. Okay, so here, this is, what I'll do is just take this off for now. All right, so I'm going to save this page just because someone was working on it and it was working in the template. So it was in the library pages. So that's not where you want to save it. So rule number 1, don't do that. Let's go to Voyager 2020. We'll go to October. We're going to go to layout. Page 2 is there already. So I guess I'll just do save page 2. Template, just to make sure that I don't mess anyone up. Then I'll go back and fix that and delete it. Okay. So guys, make sure you have the layout labeled correctly and don't have like various versions of it. I'm going to take all of this off and show you from scratch. Okay, so this is how it should be. Even page here, the Voyager, news, and then November, this should be October. All right. Everything else, and it's all lowercase. All right. This is lowercase, but it's capitalized. Okay. That is Tahoma. All this stuff should already be set in the template. Okay, you don't have to change that. Even pages here, odd pages over here. All right. So the first thing I want to do is establish a base. Set the picture always first. I mean, I think that's the best way to do it. Set the picture. Even if you don't have the picture yet, have something that creates a solid base. All right. Now you get the text. Make a text box. And then you go File, Place. Don't do cut and paste. Go File, Place. I am going to find, we go to the Share folder. We go to Groups. We go to Student. We go to Voyager. We go to this year. We go to October. We go to News. And there's his article right there. I'm going to click Open. And there it is. Okay. The headline should be separate. So I'm going to do copy. Get rid of that. All right. I don't want that to be part of the article. All right. Let's see how long this article is. Okay. So we know what we're playing with. Highlight it. Make sure it is in where? All right. If you have trouble finding it, it's the control, window control gets the tools for up here. And then down here, it's the toolbar. So control and tools are very, very important. All right, you need these things. All right, this article is size 12. That's a no-no. So we need it size 10. All right, it needs to be in Times New Roman. You want to do justify. You don't want to do force justify. Force justify does something like that. How many times have I seen this in layout? And it drives me crazy. So you do this justify right here, right? Not that justify. That's crazy. All right, make sure it's size 10 Times New Roman. This is for all text. That's the article, the copy. All right, this is not the headline. The headline's something different. That is Tahoma. So let's make a box here for the headline. I'm going to copy paste the headline. Almost never, ever, ever center your pieces, your headline, except on certain occasions. Let's make this go goal line to goal line. Let's try 30. Nope, never, ever have Eastern in the title because it's obvious. We'll come back to that. All right, so now I have the article. I have the picture. This is in 4 columns. I can change this by going to, up at the top bar, I can go to layout and margins. And let's just say I want this to be 3. I change it to 3, right? If I want to change it to 5, I can change it to 5. It's almost never 2. 6 is just crazy. Never do 6. And it really depends on what you are putting onto the paper. All right, so let's go back to margins columns. Let's change this to back to 4. The gutter has to be 1.6. All right, pica. All right, now this article is, it looks like the article is just that. So what we could do is make this 2 columns, click, control click, text frame options. Make sure this is 1.6, and we want 2 columns. Okay, so there we go. We have space here. Whoop. I'm going to bring that up a little bit. What we need to do is create a text box. I'm going to create the text box over here. I'm going to put a W because the article begins with when. I'm going to go to Tahoma. I'm going to make that bold, and I'm going to make that, say, 60. And I want this to be Tahoma, bold, and why isn't it doing it? There it is. Okay. When I first opened it, it wasn't in Tahoma, it was in Times. And so the bold looked really weird. All right, everything has to be consistent. When the Yankees take the field, when the Phillies take the field, everything looks the same. They're not having different color uniforms. So the it has to be uniform, right? 99 times out of 100, it has to be uniform. All right, so let's take out this other W. Sometimes that happens. That's a problem. All right, this is a text box. All right, sometimes you're trying to click on it and it's not, oh, Mr. Bowne, I have a problem. It's not clicking. Well, because you're clicking on this box, you got to move that box to get to this box. All right, now you want space around the W, but not too much space. How do you do that? You go here to Texrap. Okay, these are different options. Sometimes you guys are clicking invert, or it might default to invert because that's how the template page was saved. Get rid of that, right? So you want it to wrap around. These are different options of how you can, if you want space around your picture. Sometimes you don't need space above or below or anywhere. Sometimes you want all of the space, but you can click on this and it can make all settings the same, or you can have different settings. All right, so for now, I think that W is pretty good. There's really no space. If I wanted space, see, it's making a line go up. I don't want all that. That's crazy. So I'm going to bring it back to 0. Now, if I want I want a line around all of it, I click on that, and then I click this, and then it all goes to 1. All right, so I'm going to move this back here. All right. And make sure the text is right here. The goal, make sure it's on the line. Here's another trick. Control text options. All right. You can do insert spacing. So if you want, I do this quite frequently, especially if there's some room, I want to put inset spacing. So I set that. And what it does is bring the text off the line a little bit. If you have some space down here, Mr. Bowne, I don't know what to do with the space. You can adjust that, All right, you don't want to get crazy with it as it's too much. Let's bring that up. You want everything to be consistent. Notice there's space here. All right, what are your options? Well, your option is this. All right, and if that's there, that means there might be extra text, and there may not be extra text. All right, if it's like this, there is extra text. Right, but right here, we should be pretty good. Okay, and again, we would get taken points off if we left it like this, because this line and this line has to be symmetrical. It has to be balanced. So I'm going to go to text frame options. I'm going to add another insert, maybe one more. And that's almost right. There's other things we could do too. That was over. All right, what I would do is go back. I'm going to go back to 4. I'm going to go to this box, and I'm going to add some stuff. That's a little too much. Let me go back. Okay, so now the picture has to be balanced with, see, there's different boxes here. It's strange. So sometimes make sure you don't have too many boxes. So I'm going to go to File, Place, the picture, right? Everything has to be in the group folder. It can't be in the Google Drive, all right? So here's his picture, all right? Now, the problem with this picture is it's in color, all right? This is a black and white page. That's going to be problematic, okay? So, but we'll get to that. Now, this picture is, of course, he is off to the side here. What I'm going to do is I have different options. I go to Object, Fit. I can either fill frame proportionally or fit content proportionally. You want to keep your proportions right. So let's say fill frame proportionally. What I don't like about this picture is that he's so small, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Photoshop this. What I can do is do something like this, which I don't suggest doing. I guess you could do it. All right, and then let's move him over here. But then what are you going to do with this space? All right, yeah, this is the trick. It's a puzzle, and you got to try to do your puzzle. What you can do is maybe do something like this. Make sure he fills the frame. And then I go to Object, Fill Frame Proportionally. All right. This might work, although this here is problematic. What are you going to put there? It might be too. You might put like a column. It's just too small of a space. If this was a 3-column piece, we had 3 columns. You could fit a column here and go down, but 4 columns or 5-column page, it doesn't look so good. Maybe a continuation. But what I would suggest doing, perhaps, is let's see if we can bring this up here, bring this over, bring this up like this. Now we're getting somewhere, okay? We can trim some of this off of here. What I don't like about this is I don't like small pictures. I really don't like small pictures. I want big pictures. At least this is a fairly, active picture. We need a caption box for what he's doing. All right, so the caption goes here. So I'm going to copy his name to make sure it's spelled right. All right, it needs to be size 10. Obviously, that's not size 10. All right, I'm going to make this size 10. All right, I want it to be bold. Why? Because we need the text to be different from this text. This is Tahoma. This is Times New Roman. They have to be different, or the reader thinks this is part of the story. So we need his name and then an active verb, types, lessons on his Mac